some additional legal matters at hand. I'm not able to give a full formal statement at this time. But very briefly, though, I do want to give my condolences to the Floyd family. There's going to be some other information in the future that would be of interest, and I hope things will give you some peace of mind. Thank you.
That was former Officer Derek Chauvin with a cryptic message for the Floyd family during his sentencing hearing last week. Today, new information may shine some light on what he may have been referring to. With me to discuss is former Chief Public Defender of Hennepin County, Mary Moriarty. Great to have you on, Mary.
Thank you.
Now, CBS affiliate WCCO is reporting that federal prosecutors are working with Chauvin on a potential plea deal. Under the terms of the plea, Chauvin would serve up to 25 years concurrently, meaning at the same time of his state sentence, and would serve it in federal prison. Now, it seems obvious why Chauvin would want to negotiate this deal, but what's in it for federal prosecutors?
There are a couple of things that might be in it for federal prosecutors. One is people who watched the trial saw those bystanders, including 4 youth, one of whom was 7 years old, testify. We know that just watching what happened to George Floyd and testifying about it was traumatizing to those youth and to the other witnesses who saw this happen. So I'm sure the state or the federal government would rather not put witnesses through this. They would also probably not want to put the city through this. The courthouse, at least the state courthouse, was shut down. There were fortifications. There was a lot of apprehension. And then the last thing is this. In federal court, they can condition a plea on a person's agreement to waive their right to appeal. We don't do that in state court here, but the advantage there would be whatever would happen on the state court appeal in Chauvin's conviction wouldn't really be relevant because he would have agreed to not appeal the federal conviction. Now, that's just speculation that is part of the negotiation, but that is certainly something that the federal government could condition a plea on.
Now, so many people have invested so much into this case, especially the Floyd family. And now, while the 22-year sentence was significant, some people felt shortchanged and were relying on his pending federal charges to add more time. How do you think news that Chauvin may only serve a few more years in prison will be received by both members of the community and Chauvin or Floyd's family?
I can't speak for George Floyd's family. I do know that they asked for the maximum sentence, which legally here would have been 30 years instead of the 22 and a half. So they may very well be disappointed, but they may also feel some relief. As I said, I'm not trying to speak for them, but the idea that they would not have to go through another trial may be of some relief to them. The other thing that Chauvin may have been referring to that would bring them peace of mind, if you'll remember, one of George Floyd's brothers, Terrence, asked the question, why? What were you thinking when you put your knee on my brother's neck? If Chauvin does plead guilty in federal court, he will have to stand up in court under oath, and he will have to admit that what he did violated the federal statute under which he's charged. So he would actually have to say that he was guilty of those offenses, whichever one they're wanting him to plead guilty to. And so that would be the first time, interestingly, that he would have taken any responsibility for his actions. You know, it was cryptic, that statement that he made. And one of the reasons it was very cryptic was the defense approach to the sentencing in state court. The memo that they filed was, I would describe, being somewhat defiant. The judge had already written that he found one of the aggravating factors to be that Chauvin inflicted particular cruelty on George Floyd, and that George Floyd's death was relatively slow and agonizing, and he was begging for his life, and he knew he was going to die. Yet even after reading that, the defense wrote that George Floyd's death was relatively quick. They also continued to maintain the narrative that they had through the trial, that what he did, I mean, if he knew he was committing a crime, he would not have done it. He was just following his training and experience. They also said mysteriously, and didn't elaborate on this, that he was the product of a broken system. And so it was a bit puzzling that they would take that approach, because generally, if a judge is going to give you a break on sentencing, what they're looking for is whether you have any insight into your behavior, how it could have been different, and do you have any remorse or empathy for the victim or their family? And none of that was true at all in the defense memo. And so what was curious about it is it's not a big surprise that he may be trying to negotiate a plea in the federal case. If that was the situation, why not try to get some kind of break out of the state court judge, Judge Cahill, because it makes sense that the federal plea would come after the state court plea once they know exactly what the sentence is going to be.
Now, Chauvin's remarks in court last Friday, it didn't sit well with many people, including the Floyd family. I had on family attorney Antonio Romanucci, and he spoke about their reaction. Take a listen to what he had to say.
For him to say that there's going to be more information that will give you peace of mind, he's talking like a police officer. What is he, writing a report for them? It was more.
I was going to ask you about that. Antonio, I was going to ask you if anyone knew what Chauvin meant when he said that there was more information that would bring them some peace.
Well, when he said that, he can't talk because of other legal action, I think we can surmise that it was the federal case, the federal charges that are pending, and who knows what's going to come of that. I can't speculate what's going to come of the federal case. But evidently something will, and we don't know when, and we're sitting here guessing. And the fact that he teased the family with the fact that something is coming that could give them peace of mind, I kind of found that to be actually offensive as opposed to helpful.
Given their response to Chauvin's remarks, do you think there is anything about a federal plea deal that could bring the family the sort of comfort Chauvin seems to suggest it might?
Well, it's interesting. It's not for him to say what would bring the family peace of mind. I mean, to bring the family peace of mind, I think would require George Floyd to be alive. So I understand their anger, that they would be angry that Chauvin would presume that him pleading guilty to the federal case would somehow bring them peace of mind. That's an assumption. That's a statement that he really has no right to make. That's only something that they can answer.
Former Chief Public Defender of Hennepin County, Mary Moriarty, thank you again for joining me tonight.
Thank you for inviting me to be with you.
Absolutely.